You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 340. How to get over your ex when you can't fully avoid them. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. Hello, beautiful brave hearts. How are you doing? I am so excited to be here today. I have the most epic guest ever. You guys, I think, okay, we've got Nicole here. And Nicole, I love you. I have to do like a little intro here to talk about Nicole because I feel like I know you from multiple walks of life. So Nicole and I met when I lived in Boston at like some sort of, I think it was like a photography event. I think I was there with my ex, and which wasn't my ex at the time. He was my boyfriend at the time, but I met Nicole at this event and I thought she was the coolest person. I thought you were the coolest person. I was like, who is she? You know, when you walk into a room and you're like, I want to be friends with that person, you were that for me. And so it was just so fun getting like to connect with you and like then having each other on Instagram. I would just watch your life from afar. I felt like very updated and into your life and what was going on with you, you know, because of the gram. And then when you came to get over your ex, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to work with you. Now it's like a new dynamic and we get to work together. And then afterwards, I've loved watching your journey on Instagram. And you guys, she's the most epic realtor, like an amazing realtor. She's stunning, drop dead gorgeous, so smart, so savvy. I'm just obsessed. And so I love watching her Instagram and I'm never even like, I'm not into real estate, right? And I don't have any property in Boston. I have no desire to buy in Boston. But if I ever was going to, I would be working with her. And
Oh,
so it's just, I love you so much. I love the work that we've done. So I wanted to bring her on because she recently got engaged. And I
woo!
just, it's just such a sweet little love story to me. I get teary-eyed every single time a Braveheart alumni gets engaged and like gets the family that they wanted. So um, I'm just so pumped for you. So let's chit chat. I want to hear all the things. But Nicole, before we dive in, why don't you tell everyone who you are, where you are, what you do, a little bit about your background?
Oh, I'm happy to. This is such an exciting day. So, my name is Nicole. I live in Boston and I am 37 years old. I do not have any kids. I've never been married before. And I work as a real estate agent in the city. And did I miss anything?
No, no, I feel like that's good. Well, you've got Teddy. So she has her own Teddy, a fur
I
baby
do have,
Teddy.
I do
Hmm.
have my own Teddy. My Teddy is a 6 pound Pomeranian, the
So
love of
cute.
my life, and absolutely the dog that my now fiance never thought he would want. Uh,
So cute. I'm obsessed. Okay. So tell us about your breakup journey. Where did it start? Like, I want to hear all of the tea. Hmm.
This was several years in the making. So I was dating a man who I met in 2015, so 11 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. I was with him for 3 years. We broke up, and of course, in true female fashion, we went back for more,
Yes.
tried to stay together. And then a year later, in 2019, September was when it was done and I
Mhm.
wasn't going back. And then shortly after that, COVID hit, which is when I joined your program, partly because what else could we be spending money on at this point? I am a very solutions oriented person. And when I realized that I cannot solve this feeling of like I'm not over it, of like I'm checking his social media, like I'm still engaged in his life. And I couldn't solve that on my own. And I'm a very, savvy, smart person. But when I
Yeah.
can't do something myself, I know I need to engage help. And you were that person for me. And I was so excited that you had a course that was built out for this. It was right as you were, I think, beta testing group coaching. And I
Yeah.
was convinced partly that, my situation was unique. I was the only person going through what I was going through because of X, Y, and Z. But joined your program in 2020, and I wish I had done it sooner.
Yay, so good, so good. So, can you tell us a little bit about kind of what were your biggest struggles when you were going into the Get Over Your Ex program? What were the things that you wanted to accomplish within the time together?
Sure. So, the biggest thing that I was looking for from your program was the feeling of being able to move on, not necessarily just moving on, but feeling like I actually had done so and then living my life as such. I was with him for a few years. He was a little bit older than me. He did have a child who I became very involved with. But I was still checking on his social media. I was still engaged in like what he was doing, who he was seeing. And he was also in a lateral industry. I work in real estate. He was a real estate attorney. And so I felt there was still going to be a lot of overlap with each other's lives and running into each other and past clients, then like re-engaging their services. So I wanted there to be a copacetic nature to the breakup, but I was still very mad and angry. And that was showing up for me, not only in my work, but in my personality. You want to move on, you want to date other people, but you're still kind of bitter
Yeah.
and not fully present when you're meeting new people. So I put in 2020 dating like completely onto the sidelines and really just committed to doing better for myself so that when I did have a new relationship, I would be in a much better place. And then because of COVID, thankfully,
Yeah,
I
that really worked out.
didn't date anybody really for a year because I felt like I was way too good for the apps.
Yeah.
Like somebody like me shouldn't be relying on an app to meet somebody. Fast forward, I didn't end up meeting anybody on the apps, probably because my attitude was so bad. Wasn't all that great, but yeah, we live and we learn.
I feel like you are. Like, I honestly, though, too, I'm just like, you are a different vibe. I am curious about your human design, honestly, to see how that plays out. Did you end up meeting your current partner through like networking, like through other people?
We would have never met each other had there not been a matchmaker. He
Oh,
hired a matchmaker
I
and
love
they
this.
found me. It turned out that so we met in July of 2024.
Mhm.
And it's ironic because it was 4 weeks after I bought my second home, which was like a vacation home. I was really proud of it. I'm like, I'm young, I'm buying a second property, like this is really exciting. 4 weeks later, they called me up while I was down at the Cape and doing this massive landscaping project. And they're like, "Do you want to meet this guy?" And they described him on the phone. It's totally blind, no photos. I went to Google his phone number, couldn't find any pictures of him online. He's got no social media. I'm like, this is so bizarre. But okay, there was like this feeling inside of me that when they said, "Would you be willing to meet him?" It just jumped out and it was like, "Yes, I would." So we scheduled a date for a week later, but it was through the service Lunch Dates. And I had not paid for the service. He did. He likes to joke that I was a very expensive first date, the most expensive first date, because I think the service costs into the several thousands of dollars range. But he
Yeah.
was the client. They matched him. I was the first date, and that was a well paid for service.
I love this. So wait, hold on. This is huge. I need to, okay. So you were out living your bigger and better life, buying your
Yes.
second property. You weren't searching for the person. You weren't like
No,
you
ironically,
didn't hire a matchmaker.
I had deleted, ironically, all of the apps because I was entering this world of a financial uncomfortable place where, okay, I've just committed to 2 mortgages. Like,
Yeah. Hmm.
one mortgage is overwhelming to the average person, and I work in real estate, like, holy crap, 2 mortgages, that's a big number that's going out the door every month. So I canceled all of the apps. I canceled all of the dating things because I'm like, I'm number 1, I'm not gonna be checking them. I don't have time right now, but also I don't want the money going out the window. I mean, Bumble itself is like 99 or something.
Wow.
I don't even remember anymore. So,
Yeah.
yes, it was the matchmaking service that
Reached
made it
out to
easier.
you. I'm sorry, but that's fucking epic. That is amazing. Iconic. Nicole, that is so on brand for you. Like so on brand for you. Oh my God, that's delicious. Okay, so good. So I totally got off topic for just a second.
Mhm.
I want to rewind for a little bit. You were talking about how in your breakups, one of the biggest, like you found yourself engaging in it, but you were still really angry.
Mhm.
So how did you release the anger? How did you disengage yourself? What were like the tools or the techniques or the things that you felt like inside of Get Over Your Ex that really helped you release and truly like get over it? Do you remember your Get Over Your Ex moment?
I do, and I refer back to it a lot because I refer to you as a life coach because I think when you tell
Mhm.
people initially, like, "I had a breakup coach," they're like, "What?" I'm like, "No,
That's
no,
also not, yeah.
she was a life coach who specializes in breakups, and she
Yeah.
changed my life." And the one thing that I refer back to a lot is how to run a model. And the
Hmm.
reason is because it's a choice, right? Like the way that you're thinking, the way that you're feeling, the way that you're showing up, the way that you're choosing to spend your time is resulting in you being in your own way. You're basically self-sabotaging yourself. And so when you learn how to run a model and you learn that you're choosing to do all of these things, it's as simple as, well, choose the opposite. If you
Yeah.
want the opposite, choose the opposite, and here's how to get there. And so I'll run myself through different situations if I feel like, I'm either ruminating on something or whatever, and you run a model. You go through your circumstances, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and the result that you want. And you're like, I can choose my own destiny, but it is a choice. And so
Yeah.
here we are. Let's go in a different direction with that. And that I refer back to at least once a month, and I share with people how to do it.
Ugh.
And I'll pull up, the life coach model,
Mhm.
explain it to them so they can like learn more about it. And some people have come back to me and said, wow, like what you said made sense. I'm like, you need a life coach. Go get a life coach. They know better than I do.
So good. I love that. That's delicious. Amazing. So, what was your get over your ex moment? Like, what was when you think about unintentional to intentional model,
Yeah.
what was your thought change? What was your perspective shift? What was your point of view that changed to
Okay.
release
I,
anger,
I know
to,
where I was going with this. Okay.
yeah.
So everything that you talk about with life happening to you
Mhm.
and changing your frame of mind with life happening for you, it really brought me to a place of like I need to grow from this. I need to do better. I need to learn better. There was something that I was also thinking, and then of course my frame of mind dropped. It'll come back to me, but yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. That makes total sense though. It makes total sense. So then I'm curious, you are truly, I mean, I guess I feel like you are from the outside, but you tell me, do you feel like you're living your bigger and better life that you had envisioned back then? I mean, we're 6 years ahead in the future.
Yes.
Like,
If you could have told me that in 2019, Nicole would be in a place of, I am living my dream. I own property in the Back Bay, which is an amazing part of the city. I
yeah,
own a property on the Cape. During COVID, when there were like no hobbies to be had, I joined a boat club and learned how to drive a boat, and then like took clients out on the boat by myself. Like I could do this by myself. Um, I drive an amazing car. I love my car. I'm able to support my sister. And while she works, like she's very fortunate because she sees me like doing all of these things, living my life big and great and happy. And I'm doing
yeah,
it for myself. I'm not, ruminating on the issues. One thing that I think about, I just regained my train of thought from earlier.
yeah,
I felt like I was unique, and how could he have disrespected me in a way that took 4 years out of my dating life when I was in my 20s? And I
mm,
was really upset about, this is where it came back to
yeah,
radical responsibility. I was really hard on myself for years, for months immediately after the breakup, and I was upset that I let him take advantage of those years of my life. And then when it came down to, I'm going to take responsibility for this because there was two people in that relationship. There was him and I. I made a conscious choice after I broke up with him in year 3 to go back.
mm,
I made these poor decisions. And when I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility for that because it wasn't just him. It
yeah,
ultimately made me feel better about each choice moving forward. And it gave me the autonomy back of, okay, I made these choices, but now I can right my wrongs. I can make new choices.
Yes, so good. Ah, Nicole, that was amazing. That makes total sense. And I love how you like the again, radical responsibility. I like that. That's like a term.
Yeah.
So good. Take responsibility for the part that you played in that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so to back to your bigger and better life because I feel like that is also really important. So you're living your bigger and better life. You in 2019 would like look forward and be like, "Are you fucking kidding me? This is amazing, right?"
Yes.
What would you, is there something that you would tell 2019 you?
You have to stop caring. If you've decided that they are not for you, and if they're not with you, they're not for you because the person that you want for you wants to be with you, like they don't need
Mhm.
to be forced, then stop caring whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
Stop looking at their social media. Just like go no contact. And it sounds really hard. But then as you start like flexing that muscle, it becomes easier. You do stop caring. You stop thinking about what it is that they're doing. You tell your friends, like, I don't care what they're doing. Don't tell me. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And once you really decide, like, I am not going to be with this person, I mean, that's the frame of mind that everybody needs going into a breakup is just you have to commit to it. Like
Yeah.
you can't,
Decide, commit, and practice.
yes, you can't keep going back. It doesn't help you. It doesn't serve you. That's something that I refer back to a lot is why are you choosing things that do not serve you? They don't make you feel better. They don't, help the result. So
Yeah.
stop doing that.
Right? It's like knock it off. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. I like that. I love the idea that getting over an ex could be as simple as deciding, committing, and then practicing.
Yes.
Decide that you're going to be over this person, commit to that decision by going all in, and then practicing it every single day.
Hmm.
So good. I love kind of the sense that I feel like a lot of what you're saying too is also alluding to the fact that like remembering that you're prolonging your bigger and better life.
Yes.
Like by staying stuck in these stories, by staying hung up on the wrong person, by engaging with the ex in the way that you were kind of describing, you're really prolonging this beautiful, epic life that has always been meant for you.
I think about this all the time. I always wonder, had and I know everything happens for a reason, and I firmly believe that. Had I not spent more than 4 days dating my ex, which now in hindsight, like if I had met him today and I was single, I wouldn't have given him a day. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
all the red flags were there. I just wasn't paying attention. Like, had I not stayed in that relationship for as long as I did, would I have met my now fiance sooner? Probably not. But would I have maybe been in healthier relationships or been doing other things? Like I would say so. Like I stayed in
Yeah.
that relationship way too long, and it's funny like when you really learn how to date because you learn what it is that you're looking for, your deal breakers, your non-negotiables, the person that you want to spend life with and you really define those characteristics. If you get to a point of having a heavy filter, which is what happened with me in your dates, you're going to be unafraid of asking whatever that question may be. What's your timeline? Do you see yourself getting married? What's your opinion on politics, religion, views? Do you want a family? Do you not want a family? Do you want to live in the city? Do you want to live in the suburbs? And then everything that comes along with it. And if you are so firm in what you know will be good for you, your filter after one date, you'll be able to see like the red flags and be like, no, that's not for me. That's not the life I envisioned for myself. And one of the best things that my fiance and I did on our first date was we were very clear about who it was we saw ourselves being with, what challenges one another. And I think, had we not been so clear, maybe the matchmaker would have like screwed up and put us with somebody else. But he was 44 when I met him. I was 35, turning 36. So I was clear and I knew this is going to be good for me. And I was communicative about that. I could say to the matchmaker, here's what I'm looking for. And that's what they delivered.
And you weren't afraid, right? You weren't afraid to say what you wanted and what you were looking for.
It's a huge part of dating. And I think women get trapped in this fear of um, the scarcity mindset when really like it is abundance. Like you have to think that there are plenty of options out there for you because if you do approach it from a scarcity mindset, you show up totally differently.
Yeah.
And
How
it's
did
not.
you stay? That's a really great question. How did you stay in abundance when dating?
It really just roots back in the foundation of the life that you've already built. If you're unhappy with yourself and you can't be able to be, I was by myself basically from 2020 all the way to 2024. I had like, small, like 2 3 month relationships that I was giving a shot, but nothing concrete. No one who I was like consciously like planning a future with.
Mm-hmm.
And
It sounded like
because
you really liked yourself and your life.
I did, I was very happy being alone.
Yeah.
Being with the dog, being able
Hmm.
to do the boat thing by myself. And then when I decided to buy another house, I'm like, okay, this is going to take at least a year out of my life to really get to a place where I'm happy with it because it's like another business you're launching.
Hmm.
So when you have a full life, especially where when you put your money where your mouth is with some of these things,
Hmm.
um, it makes you feel full and it makes you feel like if I'm going to make the sacrifice for somebody I'm dating, like they better be worthwhile because I'm good otherwise. I got enough going on otherwise.
So good. So important, Nicole. That's amazing. Oh, I love this. So then I still can't get over how you met your fiance. That blows my mind. And then you guys dated. I loved watching the little pieces that you shared on Instagram about like your guys' life together. It was always so funny. Um, and then now you guys got engaged. And then tell us like what are the plans? What are the future plans?
So,
Well, actually, hold on, pause. Can we back up for a second? Can you tell us how the engagement went? Because I just remember seeing you were like stuck in the Cape with all the snow, and then all of a sudden we're in Miami. I think Miami, Florida, somewhere
well,
sunny.
so he lives in Southeast Massachusetts, which is actually an hour from the city, and it's close to like the Rhode Island line. They got pounded with snow. We had already had a trip planned to go to Fort Lauderdale in Florida. And so what his plan was to propose at the pier top, which is at the top of a hotel where they have a beautiful roof deck, awesome views. He didn't want an audience. He's not like that. So when we had gone down on our trip, that was his plan, was to propose. But yes, the week prior, we got pounded with almost like 38 inches of snow where he was. So he was, doing all of the things right before we were leaving. So the proposal was, I sort of knew it was coming. I was wearing white in the proposal photos, but
Yeah.
when it happens, like you're shocked, you don't believe it because it's such a quick moment in your life, like, and you don't know how to prepare for it. But it was very sincere, very true to him, and we said yes, of
Yeah.
course.
So exciting. I'm so happy for you, boo. Oh, I wish I could take like a screenshot right now and then like send it to past you. You know what I mean?
Oh, those are necessary. I think people would be impressed with themselves if, they took like a video message of themselves at the beginning of the program. And it's just like what you said. If you said, 2019 Nicole could speak to 2026 Nicole and the other way around,
Mhm.
I felt very heavy inside. Like I was carrying a lot of emotion and a lot of anger, and I felt disrespected, and I, lost a lot of hope in the male species. Um, but, we're in a very different place now, and I can confidently say I got there in 2023, 2024. But that was, 3 years of, like, life passing by and, working on me to get to this point of feeling like I'm a happy person to be around and that I can give it an equal part, but also more than to a relationship and still be a good
Yeah.
person and can do all the other things like work and, be a good sister and
Because of your full
well,
life, because you have a full life.
yeah.
So good. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. Tell us a little bit about the future plans. What are your future plans? Any details that you feel comfortable sharing? You don't have to share everything.
First world problems, figuring out the real estate. When you meet somebody where they've already sort of set up their life, it's, just sort of like reimagining it together. It's funny because he bought a house that he then got renovated 8 months before we met. I had bought a second home that became a second business, like an Airbnb and summer home. So it's sort of like, okay, we're real adults. It's not, we're going to go and buy a house and move in together. I also told him I didn't want to move in until we were at least engaged or married, and we're holding firm on that. We're going to
Yeah.
wait to, I'm not playing house. We're too old for that. We're going to wait to, sort of sort out all of that, have some discussions on merging the assets. And yeah, it's like real adult problems. Like, okay, here's what's going to happen with my property. Here's what's going to happen with yours. I'm going to live here part time. I'm going to live in the city part time. So it's like some financial logistics. But we also had, and I highly recommend this, like at the 90-day mark, right around there, like a full financial perspective of here's where I'm at, here's where you're at, and like what's your opinion on debt.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and that was eye-opening, and thankfully like we're both on the same page with a lot of things, so it
Yeah.
just gives you full perspective before you fully commit to it, and it prevents any surprises of what life it would really look like. So
So
it's just
smart.
like
Hmm.
logistics, adult logistics.
Yeah, I love that. But those are the real conversations that shouldn't be skipped, especially when emotions are involved. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I think that that makes total sense. I love that.
yeah, I love problem solving, so like
You're
being
brilliant at it.
yeah, I like organizing stuff like this.
You are an expert at problem solving for sure. So good. Okay, so tell me if, let's say someone wants to work with you, maybe they're in the Boston area and would like to buy a home, how do they find you?
Oh, I would love that. You can find me on Instagram. My handle is Nicole X Blanchard. And if you Google me, I should show up. All my Google reviews are there, but I'm based in Boston and I do a little bit in the suburbs too. And yeah, you can find me either through social. You can email me, nicole.blanchard@compass.com, or you can find another way to reach out to me.
I love that. Perfect. We'll put all the links in the show notes, everyone, so it's easy for you to find. I love you so much, Nicole. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for a catch up. And I'm so grateful for you sharing your journey and showing other brave hearts like what the other side of heartbreak can look like. I think it's so inspiring and so helpful to help them see a different side of things. So thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I tell everybody you were the first part of the breakup that changed my life, and I'm so grateful to you.
So grateful to be a part of your journey.
If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.